Hi, and welcome back for the fourth video of a series for Premiere challenges that help you get up and running in Adobe Premiere and get you to create content really easily in video. It's not as scary as it looks. My name is Ryan Selvy. Good to see all the challengers here today. Thanks for being here again. And today I'm going to be walking you through how to add some graphics to your project. Let's hop right on in. This is where we left off yesterday. We were working on some color management. And when I say yesterday, I mean the previous video. So if you're watching the replay of this, this is a live stream, but this is also created for content to be rewatched. So thanks for being here, regardless if you're watching it live or if you're watching it in the replay. Hopefully this information is great for you. If you're in the chat and you have any questions as I go through stuff, please, by all means, shout it out. I'll try to get to it, and we'll check it on out. So as I was saying yesterday, we stayed here in the little colors panel over here off onto the right. In the new Premiere update, there is a changing of the organization of how you have all of your different work modes. You can go up to here to the side where the workspaces are. You can expand it, and there's a bunch of different workplaces already set up for you, and you can also make your own ones. But if you want to be anything like me and you want to have a section where you can have them all up on top like they used to be, you can just go down here and click the Show Workplaces tabs. If you want to be a little bit more, brought down, then you can go ahead and you can switch it to just only have what is currently being used. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it back to Workplace tabs and check out the graphics section. So up here, there is a captions and graphics area. You just click that and it will open up a new template area. It'll change where you're working a little bit, and you can check out all Premiere has to offer. Just to also go over what we have as far as the challenges, if you want to join, you can go ahead and you can go to the Premiere section of the challenges on the Adobe website, and that I'm going to go ahead and pull up right now. Sam Peterson, kind enough to put that in the chat for both replay watchers and fans. So make sure you go ahead and you check that out. It'll be right here. It has all of the footage that we were working with, and then it also has the pie recipe project file as well. So make sure you click on that and check it out. I'd love to see your work as far as the challenge goes in the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord as well, go ahead, check it out here. Click and join it with the community chat, and you can connect with other people that are also getting to know all of the Premiere stuff. Let's get down to business though. So as many of you guys know, I am a motion designer by trade, and I do video editing and graphic design and illustration as well. So I like to live in After Effects a lot, but with the new updates, Premiere has really got its footing as far as making it possible to do some really great graphics and title cards without having to leave the program. It also has really strengthened its ability to work alongside After Effects, where you can create motion graphics templates, and those motion graphic templates can then be brought into Premiere and still adjusted within Premiere using what is called MOGRTs. And MOGRTs are basically motion graphic templates, and there's a whole marketplace for them that you can get. You can search them, preloaded into Premiere. There's also some on Adobe Stock. You can make your own, trade it with friends, trade it with other people you're working on projects with. And yeah, there's just a whole new world to open up without even having to open After Effects, which is but I'm doing a lot of talking and not a lot of showing. So that I'd love to actually start and get going. So we went into the graphics section, and you can see here that it has my templates, and these are all ones that came preloaded, and you can actually scrub over top of them. And when you scrub over top of them, it'll actually show you what's going to happen when you go and you can edit what's happening. And that's really cool because there is dozens and dozens of them, and these are all ones that are just automatically there. So you can even get one like with the spin. It looks like it's a professional news background, and it has a loop. So you can really bring up the level of production, and it's no additional cost. You can edit it and you can make something really neat. But you guys know me, I'm picky, I don't want to use anything that is made by anyone else. I want to make it just by me, which is not always the best thing to do, but if you're like me, that's what I'm here for. So I'm going to go over to edit, And you can see in the edit that there's a section where you just hit new layer. And when you hit new layer, it's going to open up a little drop down menu. You can do text, vertical text, rectangle, ellipse, polygon, or from file. And so we're going to go in, we're going to hit text. And right here, it's going to pop up with a new text layer. And you can see that it has a layers panel similar to Photoshop or Illustrator. If you've been in Photoshop or Illustrator, you'll be pretty familiar with how it works in the hierarchy. Basically, the things on top are going to have the priority, and then it's going to build down, like as if you're taking a bunch of pieces of paper and you're layering them on top of each other. So let's go in here, and I see that Kevin Michael is in the chat. So we're just going to put Kevin Michael here. And then for our example, I'm just going to do another text layer. And I also see that Stone Cedar's here. So we can take Stone Cedar, and you'll see that Stone Cedar is now on top of Kevin Michael. So when we drag that on top, there is going to be a hierarchy that shows it's, it goes on top, just as the same as it is with like a piece of paper or something else that work. But you can see that all of that is now populated into this singular layer down here, which also works very similar to the layer panel up here. But this is all one footage. So you can see that if I turn this on or off for this second layer, that it is, everything is built together. Now you might be saying that this looks similar to kind of what the title screens used to be, and it is, but it's gotten more exciting actually, because it is a really good way to be able to make customizable things that you can then scale with other projects or within the products that you are already working in. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually just going to delete you guys. Sorry. Thanks for participating in the tutorial. And what we're going to do is, this is the step one of our little area with ingredients. So I want to go ahead and I want to create a title that says ingredients, and then I also want to have one that goes through with everything that there is. So let's go over to the new text layer, and I'm going to write ingredients out. I'm going to use this font. It's called Paraluxent, and it's on the Adobe Typekit. So if you are a member of Adobe Creative Cloud, as I imagine you are if you're in Premiere, then you have access to this really nice typeface. It's nice and clean. It's a sans serif, and I just think that it reads really well and easily. It has a bunch of different weights that you can mess with. And so I'm going to go into Paraluxent. I'm just going to say, I don't know, let's do bold. And you can see you have all of your sections down here where you can edit your type normally, and you can mess with the tracking. You can mess with the line in between, the space between lines. Do your normal things like your faux bold and your faux italic, which I don't recommend. I recommend going in and actually doing them in the real way, because type designers have spent time on making those happen. And you can do all caps, small caps, superscript, subscript, underline, you name it. This is your area where you could really adjust all of your text. We have the color of the text is going to be in fill, so this is in white. And if we change this, just as you would imagine, it changes all of the type. You can additionally even go in and we'll say if it's in red int, you can even go in and you can change just a section of it. You don't want that. But you can go ahead and also add things like a stroke on the outside. You can take red, outlines everything, and you'll see that when I click out, all of the stuff changes, and we'll go back to that in a second when we're talking about adjustable in and out of your effects, which is a really cool way to make it so your animations scale. And so we're going to go ahead and get rid of that stroke. I have a background here because I know that the background of my composition is quite chaotic, and I want to make sure that it is legible for my type, because that's really important to me. So I'm going to go in here, and there's a background where you can go, I'm going to take the Rice Krispies blue. Not sponsored, but Rice Krispies are great. There's things like transparency that you can have when you zoom in. You can see that it decreases, but the type itself stays. You can adjust the padding around the box as well, because I want to make sure that it's not just the type that's also, but I want to have some sort of box. And also recently they added this really cool way that just makes it super easy to make rounded corners. So you can make it nice and circular if you want, or you can make it square. Let's make it circular because it's a fluffy piece. I like me some fluffy pieces. Finally, you have shadows, which can add shadow to it. I don't want that, so we're gonna not activate it, but that also gives you similar controls where you can use transparency, you can add the angles, you can change the softness, the hardness of it, and it really gives you a big control over how you can add extra dynamic flair to your piece. You can also do mask with text. That's going to be something completely different where you can then actually put footage into your text, and that would be good for a different project, but not this one. So we're not going to touch on that right now. So we can see that ingredients is actually going to be a multi-clip situation. And so for this case, actually, I'm just going to keep it nice and small, and we're going to animate it in and out. And then once I want to have it go over the whole thing, I can show you how it works. So that you can scale it between stuff. Let's say that I want to have it in the center of the composition though. You can go ahead and you can do a horizontal center and vertical center, and it goes straight down there. You can also go into your wrench and you can do, where is it? Snap and program monitor. And if you do that, it'll help you with some guidelines that are basic ones that move around. I personally don't like to have it on for the most part because I can just use the align and transform tools. But if that's something that would really help you out, that's just good to know. You also can go in here and you can show your guides and your rulers so you can make sure that everything lines up regularly. Kevin asks, who's my favorite snap, crackle, or pop? I never have thought of that, but I'm gonna say snap. I don't even remember who snap. Whoever has the red and white stripe ones is I like him. So you can see here that you have all of these property panels, and they also match over here under your graphics section. So you can go ahead, and I'm going to just go into the text for ingredients. You can see that there's also vector motion. Vector motion is going to work over absolutely everything. Also, these are vectors, so they can scale. So you don't have to worry about them being linked to your composition. If you put them in something else, you can scale them up, scale them down. They're not going to get rasterized. They're not going to get pixelated. You're good to go. So I'm going to go in here under text, and I want to make it just pop up from the bottom. So I'm going to put in a position keyframe. I'm going to move a few frames forward. I'm going to click another keyframe. I'm going to go back to my first one because that's where I want it to end, not where it to start. And then I'm going to drag it on down. You can do this control from here. You can also do this control over here. And you can see that now when we play our footage, it's going to pop up. I don't like how stale it is. Snap, crackle, and pop. That's funny. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say temporal interpolation, and we're going to say ease in, which is going to make the motion curves ease in. So you can see now this is after. I'm going to show you before. Hope you guys can see the difference, and it just makes things look a little bit more polished. You can add more keyframes if you'd like, but then I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to copy. What you can do here, if you really are worried about it, you can also do hold, where then you're really telling it not to move. But I don't think we should have a problem with it, so I'm just going to leave it how it is. I'm going to copy and paste the same keyframe because that's how I want it to be before it leaves. And I'm going to then once again have it go to my original one. So now you can see it pops up and it goes away. But you might be saying, hey, Ryan, that's not the whole ingredients. We want more time with the ingredients. Are you going to have to go through and scale it out? Normally you would say, yeah, and this is how you would have to then adjust the duration, and you have to adjust the keyframes. But fortunately, there's this really cool segment of responsive design in this panel that allows you to have an intro duration and an outro duration. And it allows you to go in here, and if you take these little blue, let me see if I can even, or ignore my Slack notifications. I have 6. You can see up here that there's this little blue area, and if you drag it out, it's adjusting that intro duration. And so now there's this little white area that is going to represent the intro duration of my animation. And so you might be asking what that means, and I'll show you in just a second after we also add the outro. So now we have both the outro and the intro animations highlighted. It's also reflected down in our timeline, and you can see that there's a little white area in the beginning and a white area at the end. You can click into here and you can actually extend this now. We'll say, where does this go to? Okay, this is our last ingredient. And you can extend it to here, and you'll see that now it doesn't even just stretch out the whole animation at the end. It just keeps that small section of the in and the out to let it so you can make it adjustable, and then you can always go in and adjust it accordingly. Of course, you can also always go back into here and you can switch out what it's saying, and everything will still continue to update accordingly. I have it left justified. I would probably suggest doing center justification, just because then when things are edited, you don't have to worry as much. You see, when I then center justified it, now it's like off to the left, and I have to reposition it. For this example, I'm just going to leave it left justified, but you get the point. So there's also the ingredients itself that we want to list out, and I'm going to go ahead, and there's a really cool way that you can make it so things are responsive to the actual things on screen. So we're going to say Rice Krispies as our first ingredient, and we're going to once again go down to Parallax Tint and change the bold to medium. You're going to change the background of it as well, because we want it to feel a little different. Let's make it, I don't know, let's make it black or something. Let's make it white, and then we'll make it have black text. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring down the crazy corners of it as well. Now, there's something that's really cool that you can do. Let's say if you wanted to say, we're going to need 2 cups of Rice Krispies, and I want to make sure that I have the identifier, but I also have the amount that is needed. So we're going to say 2 cups. But I want to reuse this template over and over again for every single one of the for every one of the labels that we're going to have for ingredients. So I'm going to actually go ahead. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit because I want it to be smaller. Used the wrong one. It's actually where are you? That's my scale. Okay, there we go. And we'll make this one have a black background and a white fill. We're going to make sure that it is underneath Rice Krispies. And the cool thing you can do here is you can actually tell the 2 cups to be pinned to the Rice Krispies. And I'm going to say that I want it to be pinned to the bottom of the Rice Krispies. And so now if I go in and I move up Rice Krispies down, it'll stay pinned, but I can also move it left and right, and it's not a problem, which is really cool. You can also change it so it can go left and right too if you highlight all the ones that you want. So you can do, bottom and only left if you want it. But the fact that it has both, I accidentally clicked it on Rice Krispies in video frame. I don't want that. I want to edit the 2 cups, and that's why I didn't adjust it. But if you go in and it's left and right and bottom, then now when I go into Rice Krispies, you can see that if I move it left and right, it can move. So one thing that I do want to do is I want to animate in the Rice Krispies, and we can do that also with a mask if we wanted to. So I can go in and add this mask of sorts to the whole thing. Say that we want to have it pop out from below the ingredients. So we're going to go like this, and I'm going to add a mask using the pen tool, or we could, more realistically, we could actually just use a rectangle, and I'm going to drag them out and highlight all of it and bring it. And so this is the only area that it's going to be visible in. And so we could go and animate the Rice Krispie text to actually pop in and pop out of said thing. And you'll see that it only affects that singular one. If we wanted to affect everything, we could go into the vector motion, but I only want to affect Rice Krispies, and I want the 2 cups to pop out afterwards. So we're going to go into position. We're going to zoom into the timeline so I can better figure out when to bring it in and out. And then we're going to do the same thing as we did before with the bringing it up and down. I'm also going to go ahead and adjust this mask just by a little bit because it's not interacting the way that I want with the ingredients. But also another trick to this would be the fact that you see that in my timeline, the Rice Krispies are below the, I mean, they were above the ingredients, but if we put them below, then it will always hide beneath. And even with that though, we can actually take the whole thing and we can use that to our advantage where it wasn't affecting that one, but now we can kind of make it so it happens. Kevin said I'll need to rewatch this one in slow-mo. I know, I'm sorry this is, I'm kind of blasting through, but we'll be able to add these to all of them. I just want you guys to get like a basic understanding of kind of how this all works and the area that this is. By all means, take your time, experiment, play with all of these properties. There's a lot you can do and that I'm not even going over, that I'm just flying through. But the main thing to take away and to get at the surface level is that everything is going to be controlled by keyframes. You can all have everything boxed into this shoebox of this graphic template, and then you can just get comfortable and then move it out if you want. But everything's always undoable. It's really easy to Command Z. It's really easy to delete and start over. It's also really easy to go, and you can actually save your essential graphics and use them for different ones that you can then pump everything into. So then we'll say we're going to do that one thing again. Remember where we go, and we're going to adjust the intro duration. And it's going to pop in like this. We're going to highlight both of them. We're going to go to temporal imperation. We're going to do ease in. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to copy and paste it by Control C and Control V. I'm going to highlight both of them. I'm going to right click both of them. And then I was in After Effects mode, so I was thinking that I could do a reverse, but I cannot. But that's a testament to how far Premiere has come with these graphics, because I often am going back in my brain to things that I do with After Effects just because it is so familiar and it doesn't seem like a hindrance outside of like a program that I'm not comfortable with. So if you're a big After Effects guy like me and you never really play in Premiere for graphics, give it another try. It's come a long way, and it's really intuitive. And like I said, you can also go ahead and you can take these changes and you can put them in After Effects and then bring the Mogerts from After Effects into Premiere. But that adds a whole nother element of expressions and updates, which you should tackle once you're comfortable with this. So once again, we made it to the in and out is there. So now we can go ahead and justifiably adjust how it goes in and out, and we don't have to worry about our stuff going away. And then all we have to do is we can actually copy and paste this. We're going to make sure that our V3 is highlighted so that it doesn't overwrite our current stuff. And next we can just say peanut butter. Once again, I know I spoke of how I didn't want to have it be left justified, and I did left justified, but you can see that when I did that, it actually got a little goofy with how it was pinned. So if we want to unpin that, we can go and we say just stay by yourself, worry about yourself, and we can go into here, and I think it's a third cup. Go ahead, cup, and with that, we can once again tie it to the peanut butter. I'm going to say bottom, left, and right, and we're going to line it up again. So now it'll pop up. So if you're getting this weirdness, it might be because your keyframes are getting a little goofy. I accidentally have this extra keyframe here. So just if it ever bobs up and down, that's what's happening. But it's easy enough that we can then copy and paste and continue to add this to all of our ingredients. So in this case, we don't even need this 1/3 cup because it's just you got to eyeball it. So we can go in here and we can delete this guy. And this can just be like chocolate syrup. And we're going to do this for the rest of it. That's pretty much a lower level approach to the graphics, essential graphics. And like I said, you can always go in, you can browse other ones. You don't have to make your own. There's some really great ones that you can already pull up. You can go in, you can also add like backgrounds with like files if you wanted to have a picture in the background or what have you. It's extremely powerful. But today we were just kind of going over how you can create your own easy graphics and getting familiar with all the panels. As I said, make sure you hop on into that Discord, and if you're playing with it, I'd love to see what you make. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to ping me. You should be able to just @ Ryan Selvy in the Discord, and I will be there to help you out with whatever you need. So thank you guys for being here. Thanks for the support. Tomorrow we're going to be wrapping up the series as a recipe video. We're going to be looking at it and seeing how we can kind of put on the final touches. If you're watching this in the replay, good for you. You can time travel. You can go straight to the next video. 5 videos in this series. This is the 4th one. But thank you for being here. Once again, I'm Ryan Selvy. You can find me on Behance as Ryan Selvy and all around the internet. Thank you for everyone being here. Thank you to Sam for moderating. And I hope to see you all in the last video. Have a great day, guys, and keep challenging yourself.